Welcome back to the Strong Girl Gossip podcast, guys. We've got episode 7 for you, and it's going to be a quick fire question, a Q&A episode. So lots of you have sent in questions, things that you're struggling with, things that you need help with. So we hope that answering these questions will give you a little bit of clarity. And even if you didn't ask anything, I always think that other people's questions are really interesting. So we hope you enjoy.
You can always benefit from what somebody else has asked, can't you? Because sometimes you think, oh, I'd never thought to have asked that. Okay, quick fire. We are not going off on a tangent on this episode. We're going to get it done. So, Ella, first of all, question number 1, feeling guilty for indulging from time to time. What advice would you give for that?
I mean, the advice I would give is you have to indulge from time to time. Like, binging and restricting is a very different conversation, but indulging in your favorite foods, or I assume this person's talking about food here. Having your favorite food, having your lasagna, your ice cream, all these things, that for me is what makes a healthy lifestyle balanced. Like when people talk about having a balanced diet, having a balanced lifestyle, they're not saying, when I say it anyway, I'm not saying balanced is having my green juices and eating rabbit food. That's not balanced. Balanced is having healthier foods that are good for you and provide nutrients, and then having the foods that are healthy in a different way that make you happy and that you love eating. And I think you can't have a sustainable fitness routine or fitness journey without the things that you love as well. I don't know if you probably talk to your clients about the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, eat foods that you know fuel you well and make you feel good. And then 20% of the time, have what you fancy, because that is what's going to keep you in it for the long game. Like, no one's going to stick to anything that they hate doing or feel really restricted by doing.
Cutting out your favourite foods does you no favours in the long run. Just like you said there, everything in moderation. Make sure that you've got a good balance. I have chocolate on the daily. Like, I'm never going to cut that out. The more you try and cut it out, the more you crave it. So just know that. Okay.
I can't find the time to go to the gym with busy work and schedule and summer plans.
Okay, so what I would say with this is look at your situation and think, okay, where can I change this temporarily? I think a lot of people get into the wrong mindset of, oh my God, I'm so busy right now. I'm going to cancel the gym membership. I'm never going to go again. It's just not working for me. And they start looking too far in the future, where instead of that, if you just go, right, okay, the next 6 weeks, I know that my schedule's pretty busy. The chances of me getting to the gym is quite slim. So what can I do instead? Maybe I'm going to pause my gym membership, purchase a pair of dumbbells, and move my training temporarily to home. That is what I would be looking at doing, rather than just cutting it out completely and saying, I ain't got the time, I'm too busy, I've got too much going on, I'm not going to do anything. It's about reframing that thinking to go, right, okay, instead of just completely hitting the effort button and not doing anything, what can I do instead? How can I change this? And again, it's temporary. And then 6 weeks later, or whenever your schedule gets a little bit less busy and things go back to normal, you can always revert back to that original routine that you are used to. So what I would say with that is adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
Question number 3, how can I eat more protein?
Oh God, protein. So the advice I always give for clients for this question is, I think, add and think about what you can add to your food rather than what you can swap out. Because if you have a diet that is naturally quite low in protein, let's say you're a vegetarian, or maybe you just generally haven't focused on protein for the last however many years of your life because you didn't know it was important, it's not going to do you no good by trying to, switch to chicken and broccoli and rice and eating bacon as a snack and things like this. Like, it's just not going to work. Or boiled eggs for breakfast. Oh my God. So I think about the meals you already make. So let's say you have chili. Adding in an extra pot of kidney beans, that's protein. Making a curry as well as having a chicken in there, maybe you add some chickpeas, things that are naturally higher in protein, like Greek yogurt is great to add to meals. Just thinking about how you can add more high protein stuff in rather than swap it out. And then the next tip I would give for this, which I was actually speaking to my mum about the other day, and she was like, oh my God, I've never thought of that. I think when you make like batch cook meals, so like maybe you're meal prepping, like I say, a chili, a curry, a pasta, whatever it is, you buy a packet of chicken breasts or a packet of mince, whatever it is, and you cook your meal. And then you're like, oh my God, yes, I've made 8 meals out of this. But actually, only 1 packet of mince has gone into it, which is only enough protein for, I mean, depends how big the packet is, but 2 or 3, 4 people. And you've made 8 meals. So you're not actually having a full portion. So my 2 biggest tips always is to add more things to food you already eat, and then look at actually how much protein or portions of protein is going into the stuff that you're cooking.
Don't overcomplicate it. Like,
No.
overcomplicate it. You don't need to start going buying everything in the supermarket that says protein on it. You just need to get a better understanding of how to read food labels, and always try and get, you know, a high protein options from natural products first, if you can.
Yeah. Next question. How do I get the motivation to get started?
Okay, motivation, first of all, whether you've just started, whether you've been going for a long time, just stop relying on it, like literally overall. I mean,
Not real.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's literally for anything in life. Don't rely on it. But in particular, your fitness journey, stop relying on motivation to get you to the gym, and rely on like the habits that you have built. And no, I'm not going to say discipline, because I know people say no motivation, discipline only. You know, discipline's also hard to build. So what I would say is lean into the habit building. For example, like set yourself workout days, like set workout days, and that is a habit that you have installed into your week. And therefore, like, you're not just going to wake up and go, oh, I'm not feeling like it today. It's a workout day. So you're going to get yourself there. So what I mean by that is you could say on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday morning, I go to the gym first thing in the morning. And then a Tuesday and a Thursday, it's more of a rest day. So on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday, barring that 10% of time where you need the extra rest and you need to just chill out, like, you're going to get yourself to the gym regardless, because you've built it as a habit and it's a part of your routine. So it doesn't matter on a Monday morning if you're waking up and you want to skip the alarm, you're going to rely on that habit. You're going to get yourself up, you're going to get yourself going. So don't rely on motivation. It's great when you feel motivated, but let's be honest, like, most of the time, at least 50% of the time, you're not going to feel motivated. So lean into habit building instead.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I know that on a Monday morning, I don't necessarily want to go to the gym, but that's what I do on a Monday morning. So I just do it.
I like that sentence. It's like reframing the thinking to, that is what I do.
Yeah, that's just my routine.
My personality. Okay. The scales aren't moving. So how do I know that I'm improving? Good one.
I do feel like we've spoken about scales in every single episode.
Yeah. Hate this.
With the scales, right? So if you're listening to this podcast, you are probably either wanting to or doing some kind of strength training. Now, if you're doing strength training, you are probably building muscle. Now, when you have more muscle in your body, that is changing your body composition. Now, the scales, imagine you're the scales. The scales don't know what in your body is muscle and what is fat. The scales have no, or water, or any other bodily fluid. Scales don't have a clue. They don't have a clue you've been working hard. They don't have a clue that you look really confident, you seem really confident, and actually you're fitting in your clothes better, or you've just got a PB that day. All they know is this one number that's actually just going to make you feel really depressed. So first of all, the scales haven't got a clue. Yeah. Second of all, how do you know you're improving? Well, there's so many other things that you can kind of track, let's say, to know that you're making progress. So like I just mentioned, how confident do you feel? How do you feel in your clothes? How do you feel when you walk into a room or you walk into the gym? Are you getting better in your lifts? Are you adding weight to your lifts? You know, all these things that we can track aren't necessarily weight or, you know, scale weight, that show us we are moving the line and we are getting closer to what we're trying to achieve. But just isn't this number that is quite unreliable.
For sure. And it's leaning into the habits that you've built. Similar to like the last question, isn't it? So say, for example, a month ago, you was only training on a Monday and a Tuesday, but now all of a sudden you're training a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Like, you've made progress. Like, does it matter what the scale says? You're training more consistently. You've made progress. Maybe you're drinking more water. Maybe you're eating more balanced meals. Maybe you're eating more protein. Whatever it is, I think leaning into what am I doing? Am I making progress in my routine, in my habits, in my training? If the answer is yes, then who cares what the number on the scale says?
Literally. Next one. I don't have any energy to go to the gym. I'm tired all the time. How can I make a start?
Okay, I think fatigue, like, would need more context, I think, with this one. Like, it really would be person dependent, but just as like a bit of an umbrella answer, like, look into, first of all, how much sleep am I getting? What is the quality like? If you are only going to have like 4 or 5 hours sleep per night, of course you're going to feel tired. I would be prioritizing, and for an adult, we need 7 to 8 hours sleep. And if you are maybe someone that cannot manage that just yet, and you're currently only having 5 hours, for example, start with setting yourself a target of having 6 hours sleep, and then slowly over time work to improve that. But the sleep is where I'd be looking at, like, the first red flag. Am I sleeping enough, and what is the quality like? What I mean by quality is, like, am I sleeping in like a dark, quiet room? Am I making sure I'm not scrolling for 2 hours before I go to bed? Am I turning the Netflix off when I need to turn it off, or am I watching another episode? Like, looking into all of that as well. But also with being tired, so I've got, what was it? I don't have any energy to go to the gym. Like, not relying on things like a pre-workout to get you through. That's not going to be a very good thing to do. You want to be thinking about, am I having fuel before my workout? If I haven't got any energy to go to the gym, am I giving my body the fuel that it needs? Am I making sure that I'm eating enough? Am I not training at my, like, the best time of the day? Like, I know for me, if you put me training in an evening, which I am today, good luck, RIP. Like, no, I'm not going to train my best. I need to be training up in the morning. So if you're finding that you haven't got energy when it comes to the gym, are you just picking the complete wrong time for you and your body to train? Honestly, I could ramble for ages. The list is endless. I would need more context, but hopefully that has kind of answered some way. Look at your sleep and look at what you're fueling your body with first.
Get them carbs in.
God, yeah. Carbs are our main source of energy. Just that, please don't cut them out.
Like, protein, fine, but carbs need more airtime.
We need it all. Our body needs it all, including chocolate.
Yeah.
Last one. Okay. How can I make sure I'm not going to give up the gym? I want to be consistent.
Okay. Well, I kind of relate to this because I feel like when I first started, I was like, oh my God, this is the first time in my life I've stuck to exercise and, like, actually I'm consistent with it. And I was really worried about, like, missing a day or missing a week because I was like, oh my God, is this the start of me starting to fall off? And I just want to say, if you feel like that, it's not. You've always got that you can come back to. And with consistency, it comes hand in hand with sustainability. Like, you cannot be consistent with something that doesn't suit you or your lifestyle. So if you're like, I want to start going to the gym 5 times a week and I want to be in there for 90 minutes each time. You do that for 2 weeks, you're fucking knackered. Am I allowed to swear?
Oh, well, we can do what we want.
I think so. You're knackered, you are burnt out, your body's in bits, and you are sick of walking into that gym. Like, you're sick of it. So I think just looking at your lifestyle and kind of like what we said before about looking at what days you're going to train, what suits you, like going to a gym that's close to your house and looking at what's going to best seamlessly fit into your life rather than trying to do all these grand kind of gestures and goals and things that are actually quite far removed from what would suit your day-to-day life, and just looking at what kind of would fit in best and thinking about how many days is going to be manageable for years to come.
Yeah. And what I would say on that one as well is, if you're worried about giving up the gym, is that because you're already feeling like you're not enjoying it? Is what I would say. And if that is the case, then what can you do to make it more of an enjoyable experience?
Yeah.
Can you set yourself some performance goals? Can you invest in a training plan? Can you try a different style of training? Maybe you've not found the style of training for you yet, that has got you absolutely hooked, what makes you want to show up. Consistency is something that just is built over time, but that is definitely what I would be looking at if you're already thinking, like, I feel like I'm potentially might want to give up. Look and dive deep into why you're feeling that way, because as soon as you know why, then you can get definitely more answers for that. And feel free to pop that into a question into one of our inboxes if you want, because we can definitely cover it on the next Q&A. With that being said, guys, that is that quickfire episode completed. We are actually going to look to do these quickfire Q&As every couple of weeks. So any questions that you have, literally on anything, make sure that you drop it into either Ella's DMs or my DMs, or comment below on the podcast, and we'll make sure that we get your questions answered. But thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 7, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.